What is going on, guys? Before this video plays, I just want to let you guys know really quick that I actually have merch now. I actually have a merch store, and you could check it out. The link will be in the description. I'll also put it on the bottom of the screen. But the designs are 100% made by me, and they look really nice on t-shirts and all the stuff that I have on there. So please go ahead and take a second to take a look at that merch store. I'll also leave a coupon code down below just in case you guys do actually want to get something. It'll take off like 10% off of the total purchase, so go ahead and use that, and let's get into the video. Thanks, guys. What is going on, guys? It is your fellow TDefton here, and so I wanted to do something a little bit different than my normal content. If you did watch my live stream, I believe it was yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that, I actually went in depth on these first 2 pages of this comic. And if you did not know, with the trailer site that's coming out with Octavia's Anthem, they are actually developing a comic along with it. And it looks like it's going to be a series of comics because, as you could tell, it's 001. It's issue 001. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to be doing a series on Warframe Fragments. And maybe I'll actually call the entire series, something along the lines of Fragments. I don't know. Defton's Defragmenter. No. Tenno's Fragments. Yeah, Tenno's Fragments. That sounds pretty cool. Tenno's Memories. I don't know. Let's come up with a name together in the comments. You guys let me know what you think I should call this series. So, as I said, I did go over the first 2 slides in the video. It's like a 30-minute video where I just went over this entire whatever it's called, not landing page, but this trailer site. And I went into a bunch of speculation on these first 2 pages, and I actually engaged with the chat and asked the chat a lot of questions as to what they thought, what the comic meant, or what those 2 slides meant. But we actually have 2 new slides now because it is the second day. So I'm actually going to be going over what I think is going down inside of this comic now that we've gotten this part. So let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm just going to give you a basic rundown. If you did not see that video, which I really do encourage you, go ahead and watch my channel. It might be 30 minutes long, but the entire thing is not composed of just me speculating this. So you could go ahead and watch that video and just, watch the parts that are about about these slides, and then you'll be all caught up. So you can go ahead and do that, but I'm just going to run down basically what kind of thoughts we came up with as we were looking at this. So we decided that this is some type of Orokin Towers. You know how in the past we had Orokin Towers, and also we're going into Orokin Towers when we enter the Void, right? When we go into Void missions, we speculated that in the past, this is what the Orokin Towers looked like when they were still on Earth, when the Orokin Empire was at its height. So this is what they looked like when they were in their prime. Now, we went through the slides, we speculated on what this might be, we speculated what this might be, and what these exact words mean. We speculated that this could be a Tenno, but this could also very well be an Orokin, but we're not exactly sure which one it is, because the Orokin and the Tenno are obviously 2 completely different things. They're 2 completely different, I wouldn't say races, but they're 2 distinct things, right? But this character kind of looks like a female, but at the same time it also doesn't. So I'm not really sure if it's a male or a female, because it looks like a male, but it could just be like a teenager, like us, like a Tenno. But then it also could be a female that just has really short hair and I guess fairly flat chested, because it doesn't really look like he or she has any breasts. So I'm not really sure. But we speculated that it could either be an Orokin or it could be a Tenno. If it's a Tenno in the past, then they obviously forgot all of their knowledge now, but that wouldn't really make much sense if they just included some arbitrary random Tenno in here, right? So then we started thinking, okay, maybe it's an organ. And maybe this is one idea I had was maybe it's Ortis. And somebody actually shot that down because it was Ortis was actually a mercenary, and he was condemned to, you know, actually be put into this machine, kind of using a process that's similar to transference, but it's different. It's, you know, something for the organ. I believe, oh man, I forgot what the ritual is called. I'm gonna have to read up on a bunch of Warframe lore because I plan to do an entire series based off of this. As I said, you know, the Tenno Fragments or whatever we're gonna call it, right? But the Organ had their own process to actually live for eternity, but also a similar process or the same process, I'm not exactly sure, can also be used to transfer their consciousness into objects or into technology. So that is what happened to Ortis. He was a mercenary for the Organ. He, you know, he went through that process, and they put him inside of the ship. They put him inside of the Cephalon, right? Okay. Now, other people were saying, okay, this might be Cephalon Suda. This might be the female voice that we hear, the female consciousness that is Cephalon Suda, right? That could very well be who this character is, because look, she took the Archimedean oath, he or she, I'm assuming that it's a she at this point. She took the Archimedean oath. She decided to, or she dedicated her life to memories. So from the description of what the quest is about, the Cephalon Suda in present day is actually losing her memories, or she is behaving erratically and she's beginning to lose her memories. We have to stop, you know, or we have to figure out what's happening before she actually does lose all of her memories, right? So this would make a lot of sense if this were actually Cephalon Suda. Now, as we continue, we go on to the next slide, and beast. And she said before this, it's the brink between human, our knowledge. It's the brink, our history, our knowledge. It's the brink between human and beast. Okay. Human and beast. Okay. So, what exactly does this mean? She's obviously talking about the Infested here, right? This is obviously an ancient Infested right here, right? And this is, I'm guessing she's referring to knowledge. Maybe, and please, this is all speculation, but I sound like DK now. Speculation. This is going to be highly speculative. I'm sorry, I really shouldn't be mocking him, but he's an awesome YouTuber. Don't get me wrong. He's an awesome guy too. I met him during the 24-hour stream. He's an awesome guy. Love his content. But anyway, so back to this. This is going to be highly speculative, obviously, because I don't know. But what I am assuming is she is actually referring to the some type of way to prevent humans or the Organ or the Tenno from actually becoming these beasts, from becoming the Infested, from getting overrun, or, you know, basically overtaken by this technocyte virus that causes the Infested to be what they are, right? Okay, that is my speculation. That is what I think that she's referring to with that sentence. And as you can tell, there's a person down here, right? And these look like pods. Maybe this is the process that you go through once you are actually becoming an Infested. You reach a point where you kind of enter a cocoon, right? And you can tell this person is trying to break out. Maybe that is what is, you know, that's what happens when you are actually becoming an Infested. And I'm not really sure what's happening here, but if we go over to the next slide, we see the Tenno, or in this case, they're Warframes, right? And they're all primed frames. They're all prime frames. So these are obviously high-ranking Tenno in the Tenno army, quote-unquote, right? Okay. And they're fighting the Organ. Or, I'm sorry, they're fighting the Infested. They're fighting this Infested right here. So it states down there, remembering our past is our way of protecting the future. I think right here it is like it solidifies what I was saying before. Remembering our past is a way of protecting the future. Okay, so maybe what this Tenno, or this Orokin, Cephalon Suda, we're just gonna call her Suda for right now, because I'm not really sure what the real name of this character is, but let's say Suda is saying that we know what the cure to this virus is. We know how to defeat the infested, but we need to remember it so that later on the infested doesn't overrun us, so that it doesn't take over, so that we're not lost. Do you understand what I mean? So I think that she is trying to preserve the cure to the infestation, or a way of defeating the infestation, but obviously, you know, something goes wrong, because right now the infested is kind of littered all over the place, and it's actually starting to spread around in present day. As I said, this is in past. So next we have this. Our enemy knows we are lost without legacy, so they attack it. I remember their assault on Neptune. So obviously she's referring to the Sentinels here, because we see Sentinel soldiers right here, right? Or Battalists, Oculus, these are definitely Battalists probably. And we see Arcwing, right? So we know that Arcwing was actually an old Orokin technology from this, right? From this. It was probably an Orokin technology that was developed for the Tenno, for them to actually fight off the sentients. Because, you know, it was the war between the Orokin and the sentients. It was basically the main war, and then the Tenno were used by the Orokin to actually defeat the sentients. And as I said, I want to create lore videos, so I'll go more in depth on that another time. But that's the basic background if you did not know. So, our enemy knows we are lost without legacy. So this is an Orokin talking, and they're talking about the sentients. So the sentients are trying to destroy their history, I'm guessing, or their remembrance of their history, their memories of their history, because their history allows them to do things now, or to advance now. It's like the whole thing with learn from your past mistakes, or learn from other people's mistakes in the past, right? That's probably what she's referring to. So that's what I assume she is talking about here. And we have a nice little battle scene here where the Orokin are firing at this Tenno, or at this Warframe. Many have died, but if the sentients can destroy history, we'll be more than just dead, we'll be forgotten. And this definitely solidifies, in my opinion, that this is an Orokin that's talking, because the Tenno have not been forgotten. The Tenno have been ingrained in like the history of the system. Like, everybody knows that the Tenno are the ultimate killing machine. The Grineer actually sought after the Tenno, but they didn't care about the Orokin's legacy. They didn't care about the stuff that the Orokin left behind, because the Orokin were forgotten. And that is my speculation, that right now this is referring to the Orokin keeping their history so that they don't get forgotten in later times, whether they're there or not. And I think that she's trying to say, we need to preserve our history. We need to stop these sentients from destroying our past, or else we'll be destroyed in the process. And not just like dead and our legacy will live on. I mean, we'll be dead. Like, we'll barely even exist anymore. And that's basically what has happened now. I mean, like, the only people that really ever refer to Orokin anything is not, it's definitely not the Corpus. You barely hear the Corpus talking about it. Actually, I don't even think the Corpus have referenced the Orokin at all. The Grineer sometimes, and that's only because they have to use some devices to get into the void, to get to the Tenno, to get to some technology, like Vor use Orokin keys, right? But he's really the only person who's interested in Orokin technology, who's interested in the Tenno, who's interested in the past. I really shouldn't say he's the only one, because obviously the Grineer Queens are other people who are interested in the Tenno, because, you know, they possess the transference, and, you know, they're basically a new source of life for them and everything like that. New vessels, new clean vessels for the queens and stuff like that. That was the whole the War Within quest. But one thing that is really, really important here is that most of the people in the system right now don't even mention the Orokin. And this is probably what this is, I guess, foreshadowing. Suda knew that this was going to happen, or Suda foresaw that this could happen if the Sentients are successful. And obviously, the Sentients, in some way, shape, or form, were successful. So, anyway, I'll make another video tomorrow, continuing with this series. I hope you guys like my speculation. If you guys think I was actually on track with anything, let me know in the comments. If you think that I was way off, let me know in the comments as well. I definitely like interacting with you guys. That is it for me right now. If you like this content, and if you want to check out my other Tenno only challenges and stuff like that, go ahead and check out my channel. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. Leave this video a like if you did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video and or stream. Peace.